Despite the ongoing debate among Nigerian intelligentsia and pro-democracy activists for its passage and assent in the Electoral Amendment Bill, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, a pressure group of the 18 registered political parties, on Monday advised otherwise, while warning that Nigeria does not yet have the political maturity for its takeoff in the 2023 general election. The organization said the country was not ready for the direct primary election model in the selection of flag bearers for political parties. The national chairman of Ipac, Yabagi Yusuf Sani, stated this in Abuja during his maiden press briefing on some national issues after his assumption of office. He said, "We are of the view that much as we may cherish its perceived benefits, the country at this stage of the progress of its democracy does not appear to be sufficiently ripe and prepared for the direct primary election model in the selection of political party flag bearers." Also, against the backdrop of the president's decisive aversion to the particular provision of the electoral bill, the use of veto by the legislature may merely result in a fruitless exercise if at the end of the day its implementation is not supported by the required funding by the executive. In summary, if we must call a spade by its name, we in the IPAC are inclined to the opinions that regard the National Assembly's position on indirect primaries as amounting to an attempt to usurp the constitutional rights of parties as to the method of choice of party flag bearers. The National Assembly members may have acted as interlopers by trying to run political parties from the hallowed chambers because, objectively, in the context of international practices, primary elections cannot be legislated upon and are best left to the direction of the political parties. Speaking on the continued stalemate between the legislature and the executive over the 2021 electoral bill, he commended the National Assembly for the courage, high level of commitment, and patriotism exhibited in the passage of a bill that has been widely applauded as groundbreaking and transformative in the annals of the nation's legislative chambers. For once, we saw our representatives disregarding partisan differences in favor of superior national interests. We saw our lawmakers stood up in a spirited battle in the cause of democracy, even in the face of intimidation and blackmail. We have noted that the only expressed grouse of the president on the basis of which he held back his assent is a provision in the bill for a mandatory use of direct primary election in the selection of flag bearers of all the political parties. While we may not concede to the explanations of security challenges with the other reasons given by the president, it will be difficult, however, to disagree with him on the reason of complex logistics and huge financial burden that direct primary elections will imply for the Independent National Electoral Commission, Sani stated. He also urged the National Assembly and the executive arms to be rather more concerned about ensuring the integrity of the electoral process and how to reduce the cost of democratic practices and make Nigeria's democracy more resilient. Sani said, "The way out of the logjam, in our view, in the IPAC is for shifting of grounds by the legislature and the executive arm of government for a compromise and an amicable resolution resulting in a win-win scenario. This should not be a difficult task given that the two arms are incidentally controlled by the same political party, the APC. He therefore recommended that the legislature should accede to the expunging of the clauses regarding direct primary election, thereby saving the other equally important provisions, among which is the one on the mandatory electronic transmission of election results by the Independent National Electoral Commission. By that, we believe that President Muhammadu Buhari should have no further reason to withhold his assent," Ipac said. It was surprising when President Muhammadu Buhari was giving reasons for his withholding assent to the bill, the Electoral Amendment Bill. He did not speak about the transmission of electronic results. the electronic results of the election. He didn't speak about that. It was just the direct primary. He was talking about that it would be too cost effective, that the cost would be too much, the burden would be too much, that they already had budget for other things, and that would be too much. No mention of the electronic transmission of results. And that is one area that Nigerians believe that if that amendment is made in the bill, it will make a whole lot of difference, because Nigerians will begin to reap the dividends of democracy. I will know that we're in a democratic regime, because rigging will be out of it. A lot of allegations have been made against the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party, the opposition party, PDP. They've raised alarm that Buhari not assenting to the bill, Buhari's refusal to sign the bill, is as a result of the plan, the already planned, cooked up plan to rig the forthcoming election. And if we look at both arms of the legislature and also the executive arm of government, they are all from the same party, all of the ruling party. Sometimes the Senate is referred to as APC Senate. It should not be so. They should not even have any connection. There should be no party affiliate at that particular point, because this is something that concerns Nigerians. We're not talking about APC alone. It's for the whole country. And in Nigeria there are different political parties. As a matter of fact, there are up to 18 political parties, but we know there are just two major political parties, which is the APC and PDP. This group has just come out, Ipac. What they are trying to state right now is that this should be looked into carefully, that the country is not ready for direct primary. That amendment part in the bill, that the country, with all that it is on ground right now, that the country is not ready for direct primary election mode in the selection of flag bearers. That is what the national chairman of the Ipac, in the person of Yabagi Yusuf Sani, he stated this in Abuja during his maiden press brief on some national issues after his assumption of office. And he looked at it from different angles, that we are not ripe enough, we are not ready for direct primaries. That let the political parties, let them handle that, let them decide which sort of primaries they want to use, which mode. And that has been the practice before now. It has been the practice. The political parties, they decide to go for indirect, or they settle for direct. Is their own decision. INEC does not have to decide for them. Presidency does not have to decide for them. The National Assembly does not have to decide for them. But in conclusion, they talked about, and the most important part, what Nigerians are mainly interested in, is this transmission of electronic results. That President Muhammadu Buhari should not hide under the guise of using just the direct primary and not speaking about the electronic transmission of results. He should go ahead and sign the important provisions, which is the electronic transmission of results by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Well, guys, leave us your take. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.